Hi, Jeff Higley with Hotel News Now. We're here at the Lodging Conference in Phoenix at the Arizona Biltmore. And with me today is David Kong, the CEO of Best Western. David, thank you for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
So you've got big news today, the launch of two new brands, Sadie and Aiden, conversion soft brand, boutique brands.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about that. Boutique brands, what's the importance of a conversion boutique brand?
So let me step back a little bit and talk about where we are in the industry. In terms of this cycle, it's getting harder and harder for new construction because land prices are outrageous and construction cost is very high and banks are reluctant to lend to new projects and permitting is difficult. And so it's difficult to get new construction application and it's hard to get those projects going. So we felt that because we always wanted to grow the company and have broader appeal of the organization, we have to start focusing on conversion. But when you think about conversion, you are automatically thinking about repositioning. How do you help someone reposition his asset? How do you help him achieve a higher average rate? How do you achieve a broader appeal for the hotel so the hotel can increase its occupancy and thereby the RevPAR? When you increase RevPAR, you can help the person increase asset value. So we have to be able to tell a good repositioning story. So if you look at the industry right now, what are the hottest kinds of hotels that's very popular, that everyone wants to flock to? Well, it's extended stay, number one, and number two, it's boutique. So we know that boutique brands are gaining a lot of traction, but why is that so? If you look at boutique hotels, if you look at the average rate, you look at the occupancy, you see that they do a lot better than the traditional hotels. And why is that? So we did some research, and we found that the reason boutique brands can command a high average rate is because they don't have an artificial rate ceiling. So you take, for example, Best Western Plus Hotel. When people are looking at a Best Western Plus hotel, they're automatically comparing the rates with a similar hotel brand like Hampton or Holiday Inn Express, so they know about how much they're supposed to pay. Mm-hmm. But when you have a boutique brand, people just don't know how to think about it. They just know it's special, so you automatically remove that artificial rate ceiling and you enable the hotel to command a high average rate. In terms of occupancy, the hotel itself already has a certain amount of business it's going to attract because of its location. But now you have broadened the appeal because it's a boutique hotel and people want to come see what it's about and they want to experience it, they want to touch it and feel it. So now you've broadened your appeal and now you enable the hotel to run a high occupancy. That's why boutique hotels are commanding a high average rate and they're helping the asset owners enhance their asset value. So with all that in mind, the next thing then we have to study was what segments do we want? And so we looked at which segments have the most number of hotels. So they happen to be mid-scale, upper mid-scale, and upscale. The three sweet spots of Best Western, Best Western Plus, and Best Western Premier. So we're already strong in those spots. And so it's very credible for us to launch a boutique brand in those segments. And then furthermore, if you look at these segments, it has the largest concentration of hotels, which has the largest potential for us. And also has, by the way, the most independent hotels, most number of independent hotels. So with all that in mind, we know that we need to focus on a conversion boutique brand in the upscale and upper mid-scale segments. And that's why we created Sadie and Aiden. So
do you foresee the growth of these two boutique brands? I'll get it right before we get this over. But do you see those coming primarily organically through existing properties in the Best Western system, or is this an opportunity to bring in properties that maybe didn't want to be part of any kind of structured hard brand?
Right. And I think the pipeline is going to come from some existing Best Western hotels looking to reposition the asset. And I think it's going to have a very broad appeal to a lot of people out there that are going to be required to do renovation at some time in the future. If they're going to spend money anyway, why not spend the money and reposition the hotel and command a higher rate and have broader appeal and achieve higher occupancy. So I think we are going to, these two brands are likely going to become growth engines for Best Western. But I should add also that obviously boutique brands need to be known for its design, and we're very much into it. We have a whole team of designers throughout the United States and Canada that's going to help hotels achieve the design vision. And what I mean is, we're not going to be a cookie cutter. These two brands are not cookie cutter. And we want to work with the owners to realize that owner's vision of what the hotel should look like in that particular marketplace. And the local flair is really important. So we want to help the hotels maximize what they want to achieve for that hotel in that particular marketplace. And similar to the Kimpton brand, no two hotels will be alike for Sadie and Aiden. And so if you think about a neighborhood like Soho, you might have a property owner that wants to have a edgy, grungy look to it, like the Soho neighborhood. Or you might have Miami and LA, where people want to have a vibrant, exciting, colorful kind of a look to that hotel. So we would customize the design through our design team and work with the owners to realize that person's design vision. But design in itself is not going to be the complete solution to make these brands successful. We've studied very hard in terms of how we can enable success for these two brands. I think there are two other components that are really important. The first one is when you do a conversion, you hear from a lot of hotel owners that say, wow, the first deal was really tough because the ramping up takes that long. So we've studied a lot of cases where we help hotels convert to Best Western Plus or Best Western Premier, how we can help them become more successful. So we now have a team that specializes in helping these hotels ramp up. And there would be a very fast integration with our revenue engines to help the hotel become successful very quickly. The other component to that is for a hotel like that, you want it to be the talk of the town. So how do you do that? Well, you have to have very good social media engagement. And Best Western already has the second highest social engagement score for the industry. We want to leverage our know-how and also our influencers. We have a lot of influencers that blog for Best Western, and we want to utilize their relationships and their expertise to help a new Sadie hotel, new Aiden hotel ramp up in social media engagement. And we would create a playbook for each one of these hotels that's customized for that hotel, for that marketplace. We want to create a lot of selfie moments, so the hotel guests would come in and take pictures of themselves and post it on social media, and we'll have a lot of events that we can help the hotels launch to create that constant buzz.
So judging by the names, Sadie and Aiden, sounds like that's something that would have personality, that to stand out like you just described. So what's the story behind the names?
Well, you're absolutely right. We want these hotels to have personality because if no two hotels are alike, they're all different. And so we want the hotels to be known for their personality. And years ago, when I worked at Hyatt and I was in charge of market research, I learned a very valuable lesson. And that is when people are asked to describe a hotel, they find it very difficult, extremely difficult. But when you ask the person to describe the hotel as a person, then all of a sudden it becomes much easier, right? Is this person fun? Is this person exciting? Is this person colorful? So all of a sudden you have the ability to describe the personality of the hotel through the name. So that's why we picked two names to be the names of these two brands.
So who is Sadie and who is Aiden?
Well, Sadie is the upscale boutique brand primarily for the primary markets, and Aiden would be the upper mid-scale boutique brand for secondary markets.
And will these have the by Best Western sub-branding to it?
They would have it, and the signs are, I think, designed very appropriately for a primary location. The sign for Sadie has a very small mention of Best Western, so it doesn't take away from the name Sadie that this hotel is a Sadie hotel.
Okay.
Whereas for the secondary market locations, the name Best Western has a huge draw. we've learned that when we launched the extended stay brand, that people actually want both the extended stay sign, executive residency, and they want the Best Western Plus sign along with it, because the Best Western sign is well known and it draws in a lot of walk-ins. So for those markets, the Aiden sign, half of that sign says Aiden and half of that sign would say Best Western.